All right, everybody. Welcome to the Minnesota Golf Show. This is Club Pro Chatter Special Edition. I'm Scott McDonald here, normally the assistant host, standing in for Greg Snow, who's not with us this today. And with us, special host Grant Hanson, a buddy of mine, lives in Alexandria as well. Grant, great to have you on. Tell us a little bit about your role and what you've got going on this week down at the golf show.
Yep, excited to be here. Some big shoes to fill. The snowman. Greg's not with, so I'm excited to be here. We've been coming down to the golf show 8 years. I'm at Geneva Golf Club in Alexandria, working for Thompson Golf Group. We've got a couple of courses in Arizona as well. We've had a booth, I'd say 8 years we've been coming now. And every year it's been bigger, better, and enjoy our time here. So we love coming down to the golf show. We see a lot of familiar faces, and it's a good time.
So is it true, because I've never been a presenter at the show, but it seems like there's always some sort of snow event during the golf show, and you came down on Wednesday. Yep. Just to beat the snow from Alec. We've got, I don't even know, 15 plus inches in parts of the state. Is it always this case? Is there a battle with the elements?
They've had some bad luck, I think. Yeah, we came down Wednesday. The people running the golf show, they did a great job. We weren't supposed to be load in until Thursday. They worked real hard, got it open. So there was a lot of vendors here on Wednesday loading up and just preparing, because it looked like the storm was going to move through, and we'd be good to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which it did. They worked hard, and we got down here early. But historically, it's been snowy. I don't know why. We've had some bad luck.
Well, I like how they've got the beverage cart set up over here to our right for everybody that's so upset that now golf season has been pushed back a couple of weeks because of the snow. So ease your troubles with the cold draft beer. But, yeah, excited to be here. We're going to jump in and talk about a bunch of different things, some winter golf destinations, the Full Swing documentary that was just released a couple of weeks ago on Netflix, recap what's been going on the tour so far, and then kind of what you're looking forward to, what we're both looking forward to in the golf season in Minnesota this year. So I'm Scott McDonald. I work for a company called Ripstick Golf. Formerly, I was a head golf professional at Minnewaska Golf Club in Glenwood, not too far from Alexandria. And, so excited to be here. This is, I think, 3 years that I've been down here. Last year, Greg and I together. Greg, if you remember, had this red sweater vest, and now I've got this red on. I don't wear it as well as Greg. A big vest to fill. You're filling in some big shoes. So let's talk. Both of us have been fortunate enough to get away this winter.
Yes.
If you had to say your favorite winter golf destination, what would you say it is?
Oof. Well, I'm going to be biased, obviously, because I told you Thompson Golf Group, we have 3 courses in Arizona. So we've got Dove Valley and Longbow and Power Ranch Golf Club. So we've got 3 down there, and I used to live in Arizona, so I am biased. I enjoy Arizona. You just know what you're going to get. It's dependable. The weather's boring, and when you go on a golf trip, boring's pretty good.
Yes.
It's 5-mile-an-hour winds and sunny, and you just know what you're going to get, versus I've played some other places, and it's windy and rainy. For me, Arizona is number 1 for sure, without a doubt. And then it'd probably be, I've never played in Mexico. That'd be pretty fun. Florida's good, though. Florida's a nice trip. You?
Yeah, I think I've definitely done more Florida, just with, PGA events and things that we've got down there. But Florida for me is, if you're southern, Florida's a big state. What you get in the Panhandle compared to what you get down by Miami in southern Florida, Naples on the other side, it's inconsistent. You got to be, southern Florida is solid, but I would agree. The turf in Arizona, it's great. The weather, you really don't have to worry about rain. And then, Yeah, I would say Arizona's right up there for me. I just got back from Palm Springs, which I would say is somewhat
They
comparable.
say that, yeah.
But I would say, I mean, even Palm Springs, we were there, the highest it ever got was 76, which sounds like a heat wave compared to here. But when we were leaving, it was going to be in the 60s.
Were you there on a buddies trip, or who were you with?
I was with Julie was on a work continuing ed.
Okay.
And she got to go to class, and I got to go to the golf course. So it was like perfect,
Yeah.
you know?
Genius.
So
Genius.
that would be my next question is, if you had a preference, are you going, and I know the answer for you.
Yeah.
You're not going on a couple's golf trip.
No.
Yeah, me
No
neither.
chance.
You know,
Zero.
our spouses don't really play that much golf, not enough
No.
to where they're like, let's go play a nice golf course. So it's a buddy's golf trip. Are you riding co-pilot, letting somebody else plan it, or are you taking the lead?
Nope. I'm a rider. I'm a rider. I'm not driving. Nope, not that bus. Yeah, I'm happy to go, and I go with the flow, but I am not. I'm not planning it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You've planned some.
I've planned some. I've planned a couple of bachelor parties. It is a lot of work, and at the end of the day, you're like, what was all this for?
Yes.
You know, so my buddies are always like, well, you're the golf pro. You got to plan this. I'm like, yeah, but I always do. So it's nice when I go on golf trips with Greg, because Greg is like, he wants to be in control.
He's the guy.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, take the lead. I'll ride. I'm fine. You just tell me when we play, I'll show up, and that's all I need. But, yeah, for sure, if I have to do it, and I think you're probably the same, the members are like, Grant, we need a trip.
Yep.
We need 12 of us. You got to plan it. You'll do it because it's your job.
Yep.
But ultimately, if you had a choice, you'd be like, somebody else.
It's a lot of stress. It's like, I mean, do you go, what tier golf course do you play? What style golf course do you play? Are you playing 36? Are you playing 18 and then scrambling? There's a lot that goes into a buddy's golf trip.
Well, and as you know, with courses down in Arizona, it's gotten tougher and tougher to get on places. They're busier than ever. It's not like they're building new courses. So going to a club and saying, hey, we need 3 or 4 tee times, yeah, they'd like the guaranteed revenue, but they also got to look out for their members too.
Yes, correct.
So from that perspective, and I know with Thompson, you've done a great job of, hey, we've got a reciprocity deal down in Arizona, but even that, you got to ask how far out in advance.
Well, yeah, you got to go. Yes, yep, you got to plan it out a ways. Otherwise, you're just going at their mercy. There's no picking what time you want to play last minute.
No, you're not. It's not like even in Minnesota now. You can't just roll out it's 9 o'clock on a Friday night. Where are we going to play tomorrow?
No.
Good luck.
Yes.
Good luck finding a place.
Things have changed when
Yes.
it comes to that.
So, yeah, I think some other places that I haven't went, Mexico would be fun.
Yep.
I know, but
We were just in Mexico, me and my wife, and I did not play golf, and we stayed at a golf resort.
You didn't even bring the golf clubs, did you?
Nope. I walked by at one of the greens. It looked very nice. But yeah, no. When I'm away on a couples trip, I'm just happy to get away and kind of take a break from that life. So, no, I didn't even play it.
Yeah. I've never been to Mexico, but I know that they've got some great destination spots where you can play. I think another one that isn't on here, but it's obviously a little bit more spendy, would be Hawaii. I love Hawaii. The weather's consistent there.
I would play there.
Yes.
Even if it was I would go play there.
Yes, there's a lot of great golf courses, and it's just the weather's very consistent, and it's just it's a relaxed environment, right?
Yes.
So, all right, let's jump into the big talk in golf, and hopefully with this golf show and with Minnesota being such a golf nucleus, that this documentary, Full Swing, gives us another shot in the arm, similar to what COVID did. But so Full Swing, documentary released February 15th, kind of chronicles some tour players and all of last year amidst everything that was going on with LIV. And I've watched the first episode. I was going to see if my wife wanted to watch it with me, and now it's like I'm going to just watch it on my own.
Yep.
But I watched the first episode, which highlighted JT and Jordan Spieth's relationship, which I thought was awesome because they've known each other forever. How much of it have you gotten to watch, and what are your thoughts of it so far?
I love it. I've watched all except for the last episode, so I'm almost done. I was hoping I would have had it done, but we had to come down here a day early because of the weather. But I've watched almost all of it, and I think it's phenomenal. It's great.
Yeah, what is your I just like the behind the scenes stuff. Everybody just sees them there on a even the first episode. You get a good glimpse into it. Is you see them there at a practice round, and all of a sudden it's like, oh well, how'd they get here? Well, these two are taking a private jet.
Yes,
they got a driver, they've got a chef, they've got they've got everything. It's all rolled out for them. It's pretty crazy everything that goes into it.
I will say I thought they did a good job of getting you to relate to the golfers or get to know them a little better.
Yep.
Which I thought was interesting. There were certain guys I wasn't sure if I liked, and then when I saw their episode, I left with a new respect for him. Matthew Fitzpatrick is one of them. I just never really had a connection with him on the tour. I don't know why. But after his episode, I really like Matthew Fitzpatrick now.
He's a great player. He uses one of our competitor products. He's picked up a ton of speed the last couple of years, and that was a big talking point during the U.S. Open. Was he so much longer? But yeah, he's been a top player, but he's kind of in the shadow of Rory. He's from the UK. He's played in multiple Ryder Cups, and he's won out on tour. But he's a top 20 player in the world.
Yes. Yep. And I just never had a connection with him. I mean, because he is a quiet guy. He's not this big personality. You just didn't know much about him. So he was just there kind of. And now after watching his episode, I'm going to be rooting for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then on the other side, there's some guys I didn't like, and then I watched their episode, and I like him even less.
I can only guess. Let me guess. DJ Brooks Koepka.
Yes, Brooksy for sure.
Really?
Brooks. I don't like him.
I mean,
DJ's fine. I don't mind him. He's whatever.
Yes.
But Brooks, he came off on that episode as exactly how I thought he would.
Yeah, it's. I've saw some of the trailers on his episode, which I'm excited to watch too, and I feel like I'm going to feel the same way. Like, I'm not a huge fan, but in any of those guys that have went over to live, they've went down a notch just automatically.
Yes.
But it seems like he'd rather just be crushing Mick Ultras by the pool with his girlfriend or wife or whatever, right?
Yes. He just when he first came out, I wanted to like him.
Yeah.
He said some refreshing things, but then he just kept going.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. He just I got out of that episode what I thought I was going to get out of it.
So do you think, how much is this going to help? Like, even the first episode, they kind of make it for the non-golfer or even casual golfer, like, here's what a par is. Here's how the tournaments work. Like, I think they do a good job of educating the audience. How much do you think this is going to make a difference and make people want to play more golf? Do you think it'll move the needle a little bit?
I think it will. Yes, I think my wife watched some of the episodes with me, and she's not a golf. She doesn't watch a lot of golf. She doesn't know a lot of it. She knows the big names, but she started relating to those players. Now, if I have golf on, this spring, if I have the Masters on, she's probably going to be cheering for one of those guys. So I think it is going to help golf in general, get people interested and relate more to those players.
Yeah, that's a great take. I think you're spot on where if you get to know these people in the show and all of a sudden golf's on, you're like, hey, I remember them from Full Swing, and they kind of get into it, and they'll maybe at least watch golf more. And obviously if you're watching golf more, you're more prone to play it. So there's certainly going to be a trickle down, and it sounds like the response has been great. I mean, all of us golfers are always looking for good content, so from this is something completely new. Do you think they'll do a season 2? I've tried to research and see if anything's been set. Nothing has been set yet. All I saw was that there were some camera crews following Max Homa at the Waste Management, and there was speculation that he was going to be one of the players that was featured season 2. Do you think there will be a season 2? And if there is, what would you want to see? Who would be like one person, like obviously Tiger for me would be someone just behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yep, that would be unbelievable. I do think there's going to be a season 2. And what I would like to see would probably be different than everybody else or than a lot of people is I feel like every episode was of somebody successful.
Yep.
Now, they might have been going through a bad stretch,
Yep.
but it was somebody, it was a top-tier guy, it was private jets, it was, well-known guys, or the best of the best rookies.
Yep.
So I would like to see, they should follow some of these guys they're struggling to keep their card.
Yes.
Or a new guy that hasn't caught on yet, or, maybe a caddy episode.
Yes.
For a young guy, not a caddy episode for a JT or one of those guys, but a caddy episode for a struggling tour pro. I think that'd be very interesting because that's a very different life than what they're portraying.
Yes. No, I look at, I've got the tour leaderboard up right now. I'd like to see them following someone like, say, a Luke Donald, who's been out there forever. He's still playing tour. He's hanging on, but it's not like he's taking private jets like he used to. At least that's not what I'm thinking. Or like a Curtis Thompson, who's Lexi Thompson's brother and is trying to grind and get through and make it. I agree. I'd like to see more of the up-and-comers or the people that are trying to hold on, too.
Yep. Who else would you like to see? You got any others can you think of?
Well, I just a good I mean, Tiger, of course.
Yes.
But the other one that I'd like to see that I saw on the leaderboard here is the big rig, Harry Higgs. That would be fun just to see, like, what does that guy put in his body each week? I mean, it doesn't look like he's eating the salads. It looks like he just puts buffalo sauce on everything.
And I can't blame him, not one bit.
Well,
he would be fun. You didn't see the Damon one?
No, because that's what they did. The whole that was the big deal last year at the Waste Management, where they kind of, hey, let's things have gotten to the boiling point at 16.
Yes.
Let's not get too crazy. That's where both of them took their shirts off,
Yes.
right?
Yep. Have you been to the Waste Management?
I have not.
It is something.
Yes.
It's a show. And, they did. They got excited, and they took their shirts off and ran around. And he said, I think in that Full Swing documentary, he said, I don't regret it yet, but I might someday.
Yes.
He said, I don't know what I was thinking. I got caught up.
Well, hey, it was something unlike anything we've ever seen in golf.
Yes.
And I think all of us in golf are, and you and I are both on the board of directors for the Minnesota PGA. I think golf is always evolving. One of the things that have kind of held back the game is all these traditions and etiquettes that new players are like, I don't know how to act on this golf course. Or, I mean, we both had the people that have walked into the golf shop with the golf bag on their shoulder. Like,
plop it down.
They don't realize that's not what they're supposed to do.
No.
But that's some of those things we want to, those barriers, like, let's push the envelope and modernize the game, right?
I agree. No press is bad press, they say, and them taking their shirt off, it made a lot of SportsCenter. It was national news.
So was that episode a good one?
It was a good one. Damon's he's an interesting fella.
Because has he battled cancer
He
too?
has,
Yeah.
yes. Yep, they said, was it testicular, I think?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Because he's got like the hat that with like the line through cancer and yeah. So yeah, he's definitely an entertaining character out there.
He was a good personality to have on that show. That was a good episode.
Yeah. So speaking of the Waste Management, let's jump in. So far since the new year we've had, I think I got down 7 events. I always get excited come January because there's some good golf on in Minnesota. We haven't seen any golf really on TV. Yep. We're definitely not playing any golf. So how much of it do you want? Probably more so now than even when you're in the golf shop in the summer, right?
Yes. Yep. In the winter, I check in. I suppose I check in most tournaments right now. It's something I'm getting excited for the year, and I just I've got a little bit more time to do that, so I do check in a little bit.
Yes. So if I told you remember the old bet back when we were growing up was, I'll give you Tiger, you take the field.
Mm-hmm.
For the Masters, I'll give you Jon Rahm, you take the field. With how good Jon Rahm's playing right now. I mean, it's getting pretty close. I mean, you could maybe even say, I'll give you Jon Rahm and Scotty Scheffler, defending champ.
Yep.
You might think about taking those two guys versus the field, right?
It would be tough. Rahm he is playing some golf, isn't he?
Yes.
Do you watch a lot?
Yeah, I've been watching it seems like every tournament that he's won or been in the mix. I watched when they were at the Farmers at Torrey, and he was right there. I think he made like a triple on the front nine that derailed him.
Yep.
And Homa played great coming down the stretch. But I think what Rahm's doing right now, I think the crazy thing, what they say, his last 10 or 12 starts, he hasn't finished outside the top 8, which is insane.
Yes. Yep, but there's a lot of other guys. I mean, like Homa,
yes,
who's playing phenomenal, and then Rory.
Yep.
I mean, when he's on his game, he's right up there.
Yes.
If not better. I mean, it's so hard. There's so many guys that are head and shoulders above the rest. What would you say? There's like 20 guys that are kind of head and shoulders above the rest?
Yeah, I think that there's probably 20 guys. I mean, you got JT, you got Morikawa, you got, maybe you throw Fitzpatrick in there, Rory. There's quite a few that you're like, okay, they're going to be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it seems like last year, remember leading up to the Masters, Scheffler went on this run. He won 2 or 3 times. He
had never won.
Yeah, he had
right?
never won,
and then he won
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, Waste Management, was that his first?
Yeah.
That started this run? I can't remember. It was something like that. And then he went on this tear that we've never seen.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's like the prohibitive favorite at Augusta, and he ends up winning.
Yes.
And then everybody's like, is he ever going to lose? And then he misses the cut at the PGA.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy. So you've got Rahm that's won 3 times. You've got Siwoo Kim, who won at the Sony. Homa, who we alluded to, won at the Farmers. And then Scheffler wins at the Waste Management, and he's kind of lost in the shuffle. This is a guy that is the defending champion at Augusta. So it's going to be fun to watch the next couple of weeks because we got some big events coming up. It's pretty crazy, and especially with now these boosted purses, like Waste Management was a $20 million purse.
Mm-hmm. Winner got, 3.7?
Yeah, it was, bigger than any purse. I think Players last year was 3.5, and this year, I don't even want to know what the Players is. It's their purse is up from 20 to 25 million. So I don't know what that winner is going to get, but it's going to be more than 3.5 or 3.7. Yes. So, what?
Well, then you have JT hasn't won this year,
yep.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
You've got a bunch of guys that are going to win. They're just going to win at some point, and they haven't yet.
Yep. You got Spieth, who seems like he was kind of in a slump, and last year it feels like he figured out his game. Obviously, he won at the Heritage, which they've highlighted in the full swing. And, yeah, I mean, he's always in the mix at Augusta.
Yes, short game.
Yes. So what and then the other big news that kind of, I think, surprised a lot of people, Tiger Woods out of, a week prior to says, hey, I'm hosting the Genesis. I'm the tournament host, and I'm also going to play in it. Mm-hmm. And everybody, I think it was 5-1 that, it was something like that he would actually make the cut.
Really?
Yeah. And so he hadn't played in a non-major in almost 2 years or 2+ years. And he goes out at a place, Riviera, where he's never won, and he makes the cut. And he actually had a stretch where he looked like he was maybe going to make a move. Did you get to watch much of Tiger?
I did, yes. I tuned in on that, and he looks phenomenal. I mean, he looks great.
Yes, yes.
Especially, I was interested to see that round 3 and 4, how well he was moving, and he was still moving pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's good for him to. I don't know that he'll play again before Augusta. If there would be one, he's kind of been big on the tour and being a spokesperson for the tour and everything that the tour has done for him, a big voice against Liv, calling these players-only meetings and things of that nature. So I think it would be great to see him playing the Players, which he's won there. And the Players is a little bit strategic. You know, there's a ton of trouble. You don't have to hit multiple par fives where you're not maybe hitting driver even. So distance isn't as much of a premium. I think he could plot his way around. It's not like it's a far drive for him. So I could see him playing the Players, but we'll see. I mean,
I think, I don't know if he'll play that one or not. It'll be interesting to see if he does.
Yes.
Because he will obviously be at the Masters. This just proved that he can do it, and he's got some time to warm up. And the fact that he made the cut is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, he hasn't played 4 full rounds in tournament golf since the Masters, and it walked him. And so it's
and I don't know. I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true. Is he using ripstick? Because he's hitting it a long ways.
If he isn't, we should get him one. But his speed, his number, I mean, and we don't need to dive in too deep about the dirty thing he did to Justin Thomas. But it made quite the news because of what he did and the fact that he was hitting it by Rory and Justin Thomas.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that he's hitting it by them.
Yeah.
Especially Rory. Rory said, I saw an interview with him, he said, I turned my driver up a click in loft, and now I'm going to have to turn it down because I don't like him hitting it by me.
Yeah, I did see that he did not.
That was funny.
He did not like that. And, it was I think a lot with the Genesis is that was nice for him. You can't tell me that he didn't really get to pick his group there. He gets paired with Justin Thomas and Rory, who Justin Thomas is like pretty much his best friend on tour, and him and Rory are starting a business together. Did that play in at all? Like, hey, I'm going to play, but let me pick who I'm playing with.
He's the host.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would think he can do whatever he wants there. He is the host.
It's like you hosting a Pro-Am, you get to pick your starting hole, right?
Yep.
You're going to pick the one you want, and if it's tee times, you're going to pick the time when you want to play, too.
Yes.
So, all right, so we're in the Florida Swing. We're in the Honda Classic this week, which, Honda to me used to be felt like it was an event that was gaining momentum, and now I think this is the last year that Honda's sponsoring it. The purse is only $7.6 million.
Is it their last year?
It's the last year that they're sponsoring it. So I don't know if they've got a new sponsor. I'm not sure if it's staying at PGA National. Have you played PGA National?
I have not.
So for the PGA members that are out there, we get one round at PGA National on the Champions Course a year. That's free of charge. Yes, one time a year.
And you've played it?
I've played it multiple times.
Okay.
Missing cuts at the stroke play and saying, where am I going to play? We go down to PGA National.
Yep.
And usually it was right before the Honda. So they got the bear trap. It's a great golf course. If you get a chance, go and play it. I mean, that's finishing stretch is one of the best finishing stretches. They've got water on, I think, it's on like all the last 5 holes, there's water on it. So if you get a chance, go and play it. It's West Palm Beach. It's not too far. So we got the Florida Swing. We got the Honda. Then we got Bay Hill, which is another $20 million purse. And then we jump right into the Players, $25 million. Mm-hmm. So everybody, I think, is tuning up to play both events, Bay Hill and the Players. So good fields the next couple of weeks. It'll be interesting to see if all the big names are playing.
Yeah, I think that, what do they call those purses that are bumped? There's a name for it. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's not like featured event. It's premier or it's something like that. But yeah, it's
because Phoenix was.
Waste management
was, and they've struggled to get some of the top players in years past, but I think they had 27 of the top 30, or I mean some number like that.
Yep.
It was a stud field.
Yeah. No, Rory was playing.
Yep.
Rory typically doesn't. Rom always plays because he went to ASU.
Yep, he likes the chance.
Scheffler has played. It's pretty crazy the field that they've gotten, and I guess we can thank Liv for that, because everybody said, well, it's not about the money or whatnot, and now all of a sudden we've got these giant purses and people are starting to play in these events.
Well, I think it's good for. That has been good for the PGA.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I think it has been good for those players and will be good for them going forward.
Yeah. No, I think it's good for those big events. I'm just concerned what it's going to do to the Hondas,
yes,
to the 3Ms, to the smaller, or not the hardcore main stops at that everybody's going to go to. I'm concerned about these events that aren't the premier events, to see how it affects him, because you look at the Honda field right now, it's
light.
It's not great.
No,
it's not great.
You need those though too. You need some light fields from time to time. It gets more guys in the mix.
Yes, yeah. Well, and that's where the Sahith Thegalas and those young up and comers. That's where they start, and that's how they move their way up the ranks. Speaking of moving their way up the ranks, we've got a guest up here. If we can get his mic on, knows a little bit about moving up the ranks. Logan Jackson, working at Craigan's up there, host of. Let me get it right. It's no longer Mackenzie. It's PGA Tour Canada, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Logan, thanks for jumping on. Tell us a little bit, how long have you been at Craigan's now? Year 2?
Going into year 2. I started February of last year.
Okay. And is that how's the prep for PGA for the event? It's who is it that sponsors it?
CRMC, Cuyuna Regional Medical Center, and
yes.
Gertens is our presenting sponsor.
Yes, and from everything that I've heard from Jack and everything around the event, it was one of the best stops on the tour last year. Would you agree? Is that what you've heard?
Yeah, from what I've heard, and Jack kind of takes the majority of that information, but they really enjoyed our stop. The facility, compared to what they're normally playing, I think was pretty impressive for them. They also had the opportunity to practice a little bit more because we have more holes for them to go while the other guys are playing in the Pro-Am. But yeah, a lot of really good stuff.
So Craigan's is still in the middle of this big renovation, correct? Every hole is pretty much being touched, correct?
Every hole, yeah.
Grant, did you get up there? You played the facility team at the new Lehman 18, right? What did you think?
And then I played that CRMC qualifier up there. Place is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see how it morphs every year as it becomes mature. And I mean, it was different than I expected. You know, it did not feel like your traditional Brainerd tree,
for sure,
through the woods course.
Yeah, it's not, the Lehman course isn't even close to traditional Brainerd golf. It's almost that kind of links feel, especially you get into the back nine and you come back into the woods. But yeah, we still have 9 more holes to renovate. That starts in July. That's going to be the front 9 of the Dutch course currently, or the red course, course 1. We opened the new blue course, or the new front 9 of the Dutch, like I said, July 1. Then the white course has been open, starting last year. So really, July 1st, we'll have 36 brand new holes. A lot of them rerouted, but also completely redesigned, new bunkering, and of course the Lehman has 9 completely new holes that were added in. So,
would you say Lehman won at the Open?
Yep.
Do you think that is? I mean, that feel is what he was trying to get. That type of golf is that. Do you think that was behind his?
I think there's a part of that for sure. There's a lot of that high face bunkering and the stack sod and the fescue. So it definitely has more of an open feel, but there's still some Minnesota vibes there as well. So it is a very unique golf course. That's what I always say about it. I don't know any other way to describe it. It just has its nuances, and you just got to play it to feel it, I guess. It takes 1 or 2 times of playing it before you're going to be like, okay, I feel good with this facility and this course, because got some blind shots.
It does have a couple of those, and it can be. I suppose you can, depending what tees you play, you can make it easier, harder. I mean,
I think
it's a good challenge.
that is the biggest thing about the layman is playing the right tees. It can be really easy if you play it forward because it is, around the green is mowed tight, and you can almost drive the greens from the gold tees for a lot of, seniors or ladies. But as you keep moving back, the force carries come into play, and you're hitting a lot longer shots into these little firm greens. And it's a whole different layout as you work your way backwards.
Yeah, I think for sure there's certainly some force carries, and if you're playing the wrong tees, it's going to be a long day. But that's what it's all about, and that's what you as a staff are going to say is, hey, here's the tees you should be playing if you want to have a good time. If you want to be in the woods getting ticks, looking for your golf balls, you can play back, but it's just not going to be as enjoyable. I think Lehman's for sure kind of got his look that he, you play Summerby or Winsong. He's got these characteristics that he likes. The green complexes are bigger. There's some undulation. It's not crazy in parts, and he does like the deep bunkers.
A lot of deep bunkers.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing. It's tough when you get in those deep bunkers. So once everything's all done, it will be, 45 holes?
Yep, 45 championship holes, and then the par 3 course is still there as well. So 54 holes right on that one property.
So when they play this year for the CRMC, what 18 holes are they going to be playing?
They're going to play the new Dutch 18, which will be that new blue 9 and then the white 9. So they played that back 9 last year,
okay.
And then 9 holes of the layman kind of routed. It was out in for 4, and then you played 5 back in. Skip kind of those 3 that go out towards the gravel pit and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little bit tighter loop. I think it'll be a little bit better for spectators and also for the players. It was a long walk on that front 9 for some of those guys, but still finishing right on 18 there into the clubhouse. And
yeah, that's a great setup that they've got there, and you had stands, and I think you had a concert out there one night. It's
and we're looking to add a lot more hospitality to this event this time too. Kind of some spots out on the golf course, so where the VIPs can go out, or even the regular guests can at least grab a drink and hang out and watch a lot of golf. And don't have to move so much too.
Was Lehman up there for the actual event?
He was. So his son actually played and made the cut, so that kept Tom there for all 4 days. And he is the honorary chairman of the event as well. So he'll be around quite a bit as the PGA Tour event's there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. And did it surprise you, Logan, because you play it definitely more than Grant and I, how low the scores were?
Yeah, it was crazy how low the scores were. The rain on Wednesday really hurt us, so the course was pretty fast and firm on Tuesday. And the players in the practice round were talking about how tough it was going to play because they couldn't hold a lot of greens. But we got a ton of rain during the Pro-Am, actually cut our Pro-Am short, and it made the course so gettable. I mean, the guys were just attacking the pins, and they didn't have to worry about much. So 27 under, low score, pretty crazy.
Was there like a 62 or 60 each day?
Each day, and the winner holed out to make the cut. He finished like birdie, eagle, so it was like hole in one, birdie, eagle to finish.
That's right.
It was a crazy finish. Then shoots like 62 the next day, and then goes on to win in the final round. So pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it's so. Now that you've hosted one of those events. And some of those guys, I'm sure, have moved up to, Corn Ferry and will probably be out on tour. Are you seeing some of those names that maybe are Monday qualifying for events that have played in that event now?
I should probably watch it a little closer. I haven't watched a ton. I know that Jacob Knapp has played on the web.com or the
Corn Ferry.
The Corn Ferry,
Yep.
A little bit. But there's some familiar names. I guess I probably should follow that a little closer. But yeah.
But I think that's also going to add to the history of the event because I look at, I think, was Finau?
He's a graduate. Corey Connors.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that have worked their way through, and that's going to be, there might be a winner of this event that's wins a major someday.
Absolutely. Jack and I were just talking about that, the new Netflix series that's out. Matthew Fitzpatrick's brother is in it, and he was actually in our event. So it kind of shows us that we're not that far away from the real PGA Tour.
No. It's so have you watched Full Swing?
I have not, no.
Logan.
I know.
Well, I've only watched one episode, so I
See,
can't be in a
You're
position.
not beating him by much.
No.
I could catch up quick.
Yes, no, it's good. It's I think it's going to be great for golf. All right, well, let's jump into some tour stuff, maybe some predictions. We've been talking about what's been going on. One big thing that of note that came out this week, it sounds like every major championship is going to allow live players in it. So they haven't changed the criteria of who can get in, like past champions of the PGA. Mickelson's a past champion, and he won it 2 years ago. He can play in the PGA. Were you guys surprised at that at all? I think when Augusta set how it's going to be, everybody just kind of fell in line, right?
It sure seems that way. I guess I'm a little surprised by the PGA, but I also know they want to have the best players in the world playing. Why would you deny them that ability?
Yes, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I thought the PGA was going to stand up and say no, but once everybody fell in line. I think that's a fair assessment. If they wouldn't have allowed them, this is my question. If they wouldn't have allowed the live players in, would any winner for the next couple of years until this is sorted out have an asterisk in your mind?
Be interesting.
I wonder that with every win now.
Yeah.
Will there be a
Right.
time, Tiger's never going to have that asterisk because he was playing against everybody. Now all these wins, are they going to say, well, yeah, Rahm won, but
DJ and Brooks weren't in the field?
Yep.
Or, yeah.
Is there going to be, will somebody say that when they're comparing them, 5-10 years down the road?
It's a good point. I mean,
No
and
Cam
that's
Smith?
yeah, no
Yeah.
Cam Smith, Abe Answer. I mean, Joaquin Neiman. Those to me are the guys that I don't understand because they're young up and comers. Like Cam Smith literally wins the Open Championship and then jump ship to go to live. Like I get like the Phils or the Poulters or even
Brooks was
even
on
Brooks.
his way down.
Right.
DJ was
Pat Perez.
older.
yes. It seems like they've got this niche of players that it makes sense. It's tougher and tougher to compete on tour. Why wouldn't you go to a more guaranteed structure where you're going to get paid?
A lot of those guys are probably switching tours anyway. They're looking at the Champions Tour, so why not go somewhere you're making more money?
Yes.
Retirement plan, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's
Cam Smith was the tough one.
Yeah,
the
for
toughest
sure.
one for me because, he potentially was on a Hall of Fame caliber run, right? Or, he could be a Hall of Famer. Well, now what depends on what happens.
he should have arguably, if he would have been on tour, he probably would have won Player of the Year because he won the Players and the Open Championship. It's I think it would have been very interesting. I totally believe I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel like the Masters is up here as a tournament. And then there's the other three majors. They're right in line. But Augusta's just got the allure, and it's a smaller field. It's tougher to get into, and it's just kind of elevated. If they would have said, hey, live players are out, you think all of the other organizations fall in line just based on that?
I think so, but I don't know. The USGA and the RNA, I could see keeping them as open.
Yeah.
They don't really have any way to limit these players, so why not keep it open?
Yeah.
The Open might have still allowed it.
Yeah. It's just difficult when you're a major, but you don't want to do anything to lose the credibility, right? And the other thing is with the purses in our organization, the PGA of America just upped the PGA Championship purse to a record high last year, and now they're probably going to have to do it again this year. I looked at, if you go on the tour website, they've got the purse for the players, of course. It's $25 million, which it was bigger than any other major last year, and that's not even a major. U.S. Open, PGA Championship, even Augusta, I don't think anybody has released what their purse is yet. Rightfully so, because they're probably like, what do we need it to
Figure
be?
it
Right.
out, yeah.
You gotta look at the market.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Are you happy that the live players are going to be in these majors? Is it going to be fun to see Cam Smith and Brooks and DJ play?
I think there's always going to be a part of us, like myself as a traditional golf guy, that I'm going to be like, yeah, it's great to see them, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be cheering for them. You know,
I think it makes good TV.
it does for sure.
Us, them versus them.
Well, already we had the Patrick Reed Rory incident and the T flick or whatever it was. I mean, there's already it's
turning into reality TV.
it is for sure. So let's see. We've got the Players Championship coming up, but obviously those live players are not in. We got 6 weeks till Augusta. That to me is, they moved the players up a few years ago, but still Augusta for us in Minnesota feels like the start of golf season, right?
For sure.
If we're all hopeful that we're playing golf then, if not close to.
Who's we all?
You don't want it any sooner than it has to be.
I don't mind sitting and watching the Masters without wanting to golf. It's kind of nice to just enjoy it. And then can we open the Monday after the Masters?
Maybe we could talk to the operators. It's going to be tough to get those public tracks to sign off on it because I know Steve Willock, he's probably not even here, but Oakmarsh, they'd open tomorrow if there wasn't any snow on the fairways.
Or if they could just groom it real tight.
Yeah, exactly. Just get a
ski
groom
trail.
Good sheet of ice.
So who, right now, if I say who are you picking for the Masters, and you can't, I'm gonna make it easy. You can't pick John Rahm. Who are you gonna pick?
I got JT.
JT win his first green jacket.
Yep, he wants it bad.
Yeah, it's. He's a competitor, and he's just. Watching that first episode, it's not like they just go through the motions. He's going through the gym. He's doing everything. He wants it bad for sure. I like the JT pick, and
when he gets it going.
Yeah.
Yes, I got JT. That would be I would be excited to see him win it, and I think he's got a good chance.
Logan?
I don't know. I think you're going to see someone off the live sneak in. Haven't seen him play at all. And
Like
just,
a Cam Smith?
Yeah, Cam Smith or a Koepka, and just slide under the radar, show up, and win.
How bad or good would that be for golf if Cam Smith wins it? And then you're like, well, if I want to watch him play, I got to turn on the CW after One Tree Hill is done and Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek is not a bad show.
Logan doesn't even know what Dawson's Creek is.
I don't.
Well,
he wasn't even born.
He can binge it.
I could.
It'll bring you back. But yes, I don't think it would be. It'd be good TV, but I don't think it would be good for. It would definitely not be good for the PGA.
No. It'd be good for the live, I think.
Yes, it would. I think who I think it's finally going to happen. He's going to get everything's building up. Let's hope that this happens. But I think Rory gets his career Grand Slam. He wins at Augusta, where he should have won 10 years ago if he wouldn't have hooked it out of bounds on number 10 and went in the downward spiral. But I used to not be a Rory fan when he first came out. And I was like, yeah, he's the new guy on the block, whatever. But I've gained the last year, I don't know if there's one golfer I've gained more respect for. The way the stance he's taken. He wants to stay in the Ryder Cup. He wants to support the tour. He's really went to bat. And he's really put time in to make it, to be the best player in the world once again.
Yeah.
So he's now one of my favorite golfers.
His interviews are always good.
Oh,
well thought out. He's not afraid to say that. He says the right things, but he's not afraid to say what he thinks.
No.
Just say you think all that drama is going to get in his way. I see he's fighting with Sergio now.
Hopefully they can. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Come to terms.
They were best friends, and he was like in Sergio's wedding.
Was he?
Yeah, Rory was. Yeah, and now they're not even talking to each other. It's just crazy.
Rory.
So
you got Rory. That's who you.
Yeah, I'm going with Rory.
Pick one more.
Pick one more person from off the radar a little bit.
Yeah, dark horse.
This would This is a dark horse, and I think this would be the worst thing possible for golf, but he plays great at the Masters. Another live guy, Patrick Reed. Went to Augusta State. He's won it there. He loves the controversy and being, even if he's considered the bad guy, that's just something.
He wants to be the bad guy most of the time.
Yes. So I think that would be someone, if I'm talking a live guy, that I'd be looking out for, would be Patrick Reed. I don't want it to happen, but that's an outside the box, like this guy.
Yep.
So what I'm going to ask you both, since I'm no longer behind the counter anymore, your favorite question. When are we going to open? They're already the good news is when you get 15 inches of snow, they stop asking.
For a little bit.
They stop asking, like.
Do they, though?
Well, it's going to be 33. There's got to be some melting. Do you think that's going to help us at all? I mean, I always told people when they'd ask, let's hope for around the Masters. Mm-hmm. Let's hope for that. Anything before, great. And if it's after, oh, well.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So if don't tell me your ideal opening date, because we know that's the Monday.
What's the date of the Masters?
The date of the Masters is I think it's the first full weekend in April. And so that date that you're talking is the 10th.
I would say over the years, that's about the average.
Yeah.
April 10 to 15.
It's been a while since we had an early spring.
It has been.
Quite a while.
We have been open in March.
Yes.
A time or two.
Yes.
For sure.
But it's been a couple of years, hasn't it?
Yes. Yep. I think we've had 2 in a row late opens.
Mm-hmm.
Almost May.
Yeah.
Last year was May, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Craigens, you're a little more fortunate because you're a little bit high. You're a little bit more north.
Yeah.
Traditionally, you got more tree cover, so the snow might not melt as. You're always opening what compared to the cities? Maybe a week, 7 to 10 days?
Week to 2 weeks. We're shooting for the 14th. That's our set open date in our mind.
Okay.
Again, it's so weather dependent, though.
Yeah. No, I think my first year when I took my first head pro job at Minnewaska, I signed up and I'm like, yep, I'll be ready to go. I signed my contract February 15th thinking, we're going to open April 15th. March 17th, St. Patty's Day, opening day. It was like 70 degrees. Just, hey, here you go.
The longest season
ever.
My
My goodness. And that's the other thing is, once we get to November and everybody's like, well, there's going to be a day where there's 45 degrees and no wind. Isn't that a great golf day?
Yeah.
In Minnesota, we think it's like great.
Fall.
Yes. But, oh, man, it's so hopefully it's right around tax time.
My favorite thing about spring and fall in Minnesota is you could have 70 degrees in the fall and no wind and a beautiful day, and you'll get the same 15 guys you've seen for the last 2 weeks. But you can have 45 in the spring, and it's one of your first days open, and there'll be 70 guys wanting to play.
Yeah. Yes.
70 guys and gals. I mean, people just flock to it. Oh, this is the best day because we've been in winter.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then by the end, they're all worn down like 70 degrees. I want to watch the Vikings lose again and disappoint me, right?
Disappoint me for sure.
No
They might
kidding.
not have lost, but they disappointed you.
Okay, so Grant, you play a little bit more than Logan, which I keep pushing Logan. He should play a little bit more golf. What to you are you as your event this year that you're most looking forward to playing in?
To going to play in?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. Probably
Onika Ridge, where you're the defending champ.
Onika Ridge. That's a good one. Yes, I enjoy playing there. The match play. Where you're a defending champ. Crazy enough.
Yeah, it's this year.
Woodhill.
Match plays at Woodhill. Yeah,
which I enjoy.
Woodhill's a great spot. Have you ever played Woodhill, Logan?
I have not played Woodhill.
Where are you at with your membership?
I'm level 3. I go to seminar in a month, and then I better be done in about 2 more months.
Frisco.
Frisco, yep.
So you
Frisco.
get to go down for seminars or at Frisco, the
Frisco.
new headquarters?
Yep.
I'll be interested to hear how the trip is and how the experience is.
I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah. It's the golf courses look phenomenal and they look very difficult.
They do look difficult.
So, I mean, like the primary, I think, could stretch almost 8,000 yards, and the wind blows. It's Texas, so it's always going to blow. So, I mean, talking about playing the wrong tees, you don't want to tee it up on the wrong tees there.
No, not when it's windy.
So,
what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, the match play, I love the match play, but I think for me, the first event, the match play is different because now it's season long. Mm-hmm. So it's I love that event, and I love match play format. But to me, the start of the season for us is the tape mark. It's the first big event. It's one of our majors. That's the first one that will actually get completed. It's just always like, okay, the weather's going to be good. It's June. We're not going to be in the hoodies and whatever. It feels like summer is finally here. School is out. Tape mark's here. Golf season's here. Mm-hmm. And then we jump right into chaos for the next 3 months.
Yeah, pretty much 4 months probably. But
when is the Cregan's Pro-Am this year? The Rock Star I think
it got moved.
It's in
July. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It used to be May. But
yes. Do you play in the Rock Star?
I don't.
Now that it's in July?
Now I might. Now I got to check the
schedule. Better be there.
Yep. It has been historically on a bad weekend for us. And we all run through that, right?
Yeah.
Like our Pro-Am ran into a lot of the Brainerd guys' club championships, so they didn't make it down this last couple years. But that just is the way it goes.
Yes.
It's a bummer when you miss a good one, especially. But we all know the season's only so long, and you gotta get through your events.
Yes. Yeah. Well, ultimately that's your job, and you've got to take care of those members, and those events are the most important for sure. It's so one thing I want to throw out there because we got 3 minutes. So I know Grant's never been. I'm pretty sure Logan's never been. But once you get that Class A, are we going to make a trip to Augusta for the Masters? Because as PGA members, I think everybody in this audience would die to have a chance to go watch the Masters. Yet we can get in there. We can get tickets, free tickets. And
I've never
yet
been.
You've never been. You've been a PGA member almost 10 years?
Yep, 10 years.
Once you become a PGA member, how excited would you be to go to Augusta?
Oh, I think it has to be right away.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I should.
No excuses, Grant.
I should have. I tried to get a loan, and I got denied, so I didn't get down. No, I didn't.
So that's what I would love. I know Tone Polito, our tournament director over there, went a couple years ago, last year.
Every year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he could, I think he would. It's just phenomenal. I mean, the pimento cheese, the egg salad, the green cup. They give you these green cups or white cups every drink. It's a commemorative cup. It's just unbelievable, like, to see it. And you go there, and that's for sure. And I'm always like, hey, I'd love to go, but nobody ever wants to go.
Yes.
So now we've got a group.
It sounds like you know your way around. We all better go. There you go.
2024. We're already
Masters.
kicking it down.
Mark me down.
Mark you down. It's a great trip, and I mean, if any golfer, it's on the bucket list for sure. Well, thanks a lot, Grant, for filling in for Greg Snow. Logan knows how big those shoes are. It's tough to fill that man's shoes. You did great. Logan, thanks for coming up here and chatting with us.
Thank you guys.
You're here all weekend with Craigan's?
All weekend.
Beautiful. And Grant, you're here all weekend?
Oh, yes. I'll be here all weekend.
So if you're coming out, check out the Craigan's booth. Check out the Geneva Thompson Golf Group booth. And, thanks for coming out. Hopefully everybody has a great show. And Scott McDonald, Grant Hanson, Logan Jackson signing off. Club Pro Chatter, special edition live from the golf show. Thanks,
Scott,
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Scotty.
Yep.